Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am sharing a Mother's Day card mashup using several products from different companies. Starting off here with the Burlap embossing folder from Honeybee Stamps. This is awesome for background, subtle, texture. I really love this. It's an A2 embossing folder. I'm also using an older die set from Simon Says Stamp called the Bold Mom. So this cuts a regular layer and then a shadow layer. And the centerpiece of my card is going to be the lovely Layers Penny set. This is an 11-piece die set that creates a layered penny and then a penny bloom, plus it also has a leaf. Gorgeous, gorgeous, and super easy to put together. And then I have another company that's new to me called, this is from ThisCallsforConfetti. This is the Elongated Ovals A2 cover plate die. I love the Art Deco look of this. I originally was going to use some iridescent cardstock with it. So I'll show you that here, how it cuts the details for the ovals. So pretty. And then I have the Elegant Script Paper Tray Ink Hot Foil Plate. I love this. It creates like a text, kind of written text background with a little coffee stain there. Kind of like somebody on a sailing boat made that back in the day. So we are going to mash up all these products together and create a gorgeous Mother's Day card. I'm starting off by embossing my Elegant Script onto some pink cardstock from my stash. I used some Spellbinders iridescent hot foil for this, and it turned out gorgeous on this cardstock. I am also going to take a soft brush and just brush away any excess foil that I might have gotten on all three of these panels. I needed 3 so I could cut all of my dies out. I've got everything die cut, and I am just using my reference guide here from the lovely Layers penny set to try to figure out how the layers, the order of the layers, how they get layered up. It's really not too difficult to figure out. That you can kind of follow the outline of the leaves and see how everything goes together. So putting those together, and then figuring out the order in which I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending on them, because we're going to add some depth and dimension to these. Those reference guides come in super handy. And that's the little final piece. So I will get started ink blending these. I am using a Brutus Monroe stick and stamp mat to hold everything together as I ink blend. Which works perfectly, keeps your little pieces of cardstock held in place. For my inks, I am using Ripe Persimmon Distress Ink and Picked Raspberry. So I'm putting the Picked Raspberry, more towards the center. I'm using my detail blending brushes to create some shadows and some depth and dimension with these. Kind of showing where the leaves would have folds, and where there would be like a darker color to them, more towards the center, with lighter colors on the outside. Then I'm going to take my liquid glue. I'm using my favorite liquid glue, which is Barely Arts, and my precision tip, just gluing all these layers together, making sure everything is lined up. The liquid glue gives you that split second to make sure everything's lined up before it's permanently adhered. So you can kind of have a little bit of wiggle room with these. And when you layer them and get them all glued together, you really see the flowers start to come together. It's very cool. Very cool. I think layering dies, layering flowers are just such a neat thing for crafters. Great crafty invention. Here's a final look at my flower. It turned out so gorgeous. I really love it. So now I'm going to work on the little bud. Also cut from some pink cardstock. I am using some Pink Fresh Studio inks to add some green to the stem of that, and then around where the leaf part kind of wraps or envelopes the bud at the very base. So the colors I used here are eucalyptus, which is the lighter color, and then I used Tidal Pond for the darker color of green. And this little bud is very, the stem on it was really delicate, so I did layer this up with 2 pieces of cardstock just to keep it a little bit more sturdy. Again, layering on my ripe persimmon and my picked raspberry to give this little bud a little bit of dimension. It's pretty closed, but still trying to make it look like it matches. Matchy matchy. Sorry, I'm a little congested today. I'm not sure if it's allergies. Must be. So gluing on the little final piece there. And the precision glue tip really helps out with these smaller pieces too. And then I did add a little bit more green ink to the very edge to keep that, cover up that pink color, just so it wouldn't be noticeable. The stem really isn't going to be seen, but wanted to keep it all kind of cohesive, I guess, in case anybody was really looking at it. They wouldn't see that my flower had a pink stem. And again, the detail brushes really come in handy for this, little small areas. And I get my detail brushes off of Amazon. They're just cheaper and you get more of them. Here I'm using my stick and stamp mat again to add a little bit of dimension to the leaves that I cut. I did cut these from some green cardstock, so I'm just adding a little bit of a dark center to them. And then I'm going to work on my placement for everything. Ultimately, I cut a 3rd leaf because I felt like I needed it just to fill in a little bit more. Here I have my embossed background, the Burlap, and I have cut that from some cream color cardstock and used some Catherine Pooler Platinum ink to just rub over the top of it to give it a little bit of interest and bring out the texture. I've got my Elongated Ovals background die. I'm going to layer that on top. I really love that background die. I'm going to be using that a lot. So pretty. Positioning my flowers. Here I have cut my mom and my shadow from some, I cut the shadow from some iridescent cardstock and the mom from some cardstock I had where I was playing with some powder inks. So it's kind of a peachy pink color, kind of goes with my flowers. Gonna add that to my card background with some dimensional foam. And then I had this little sentiment strip in my stash that says "You mean the world to me," which I thought was perfect for a Mother's Day card. I think that was a Simon Says stamp from a kid or something. And just making sure everything is positioned well. There's a look at my final card. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've been inspired. Have a great day.